Hello everyone, this is Rajiv Sanaki, Department of Civil Engineering, Jain Polytechnic, Belagavi. So in the previous lectures, we discussed about Unit 1, that is Introduction to RCC, where we covered many definitions and steps of analysis of singly reinforced beam, doubly reinforced beam and T-beams. So in this lecture, we will be starting with the second unit, that is design of singly reinforced beam. So in the unit 2, we will be covering 3 lectures, that is 13, 14 and 15. So the content in this lecture or in this unit are: what is a singly reinforced beam? How to design a singly reinforced beam, that is as per IS 456 from the given data such as span, load, properties of materials used, and also we will be designing shear of 2-legged vertical stirrups and check for deflection. So coming to the first one, that is singly reinforced beam. What is a singly reinforced beam? A singly reinforced beam, it is a rectangular beam which is in cross section where steel is provided on only one side, that is steel is provided at the bottom where it can resist tensile stresses. So here you can see the longitudinal section and the cross section of a singly reinforced beam where you can see the steel bar provided at the bottom, the space between means the space below the steel reinforcement, that is the cover, that is a clear cover, and here the distance between the two columns or supports is the clear span, and if the distance is taken from the center to center of the column or the support, it is called as effective span. So we have designated that the upper part of the beam is taking compression and the lower part it is tension. So here you can see the cross section. The upper part is B, that is width, this part D, that is the depth, and small d is the effective depth. The effective depth means depth from the top of the beam to the center of the reinforcement, it is steel. Now coming to problems, means the design. So here you can see a design problem. Design a singly reinforced SSB, means simply supported beam of clear span. As I told in the previous lecture, the distance between the two supports is called a clear span, that is 5 meters. To support a working live load of 25 kilonewton per meter, means the beam is loaded with a working load of 25 kilonewton per meter. Now use Fe415 steel and M20 grade concrete. So here we are using Fe415 steel M20 concrete. Now assume the support thickness as 230 mm, means if the data is not given, we have to assume whatever the value is. So usually the wall thickness, normal standard thickness is 0.23 meters or 230 mm. So you can assume up to 300 mm also. So now step 1 of the design. So first what we are doing is, the given data we have got is a clear span, that is 5 meters distance between two supports. Live load we know the steel, that is Fy is equal to 415, Fck is equal to 20, and we also know the thickness. Now we don't know the B and capital D and small d of the beam. So since we are designing it, we have to determine that all the details. First one is step 1. So first we have to fix up the depth of the section. So we have to determine the depth of the section. Now taking L by D is equal to 20. Why 20? Because for a simply supported beam, as per IS 456, table clause 23.2.1 page 37, length by depth ratio is equal to 20. Therefore, we know the length, so we want the depth. So small d is equal to L, that is length, that is clear span, we know that is 5 meters. 5 by 20 is equal to 0.25 meters, which is equal to 250 mm. So the effective depth which we get is 250 mm, but we want the overall depth. So to determine the overall depth, what we do is we assume a cover of 25 mm. So here you can see in this portion we are assuming a cover of 25 mm. Okay, and after that whatever effective depth small d we have got 250 plus the cover, we get 275 mm. This is nothing but 275 mm means if this is the beam, the overall depth from the top to the bottom, that is the effective overall depth. Next, dimensions. So B we know that is 230, that is support, and the depth, effective depth small d is equal to 250 mm. Now next, coming to check for lateral stability, that is not necessary but also we have to do it. Okay, so the next is means we are checking for lateral stability. So allowable length we are taking here, allowable length minus 60b or 250b square by d. So allowable length is equal to 60b is equal to 60 into b, that is 230 mm. Is we get the value of 13,800 mm, that is 13.8 meters. The R value also you can assume, that is 250 b square by d minus 52,900 mm minus 50, that is after substituting the values here we get 52,900 mm, and in meters it is 52.9 meters. So allowable length is equal to lesser of the two values. So which is lesser of the two values, that is 13.8 and 52.9. 13.8 is lesser. So we are comparing with the actual length. What is the actual length of the beam? That is 5 meters, but allowable we have got is 13.8. So actual is lesser than allowable, hence it is okay. Or you can use one more method, that is 100 b square by d, where the value which you are getting is 11,750 and in meters it is 11.75. So allowable is equal to lesser of the two values. So the lesser of the two values is 5.75. Therefore actual length of the beam, that is 5 meters, which is lesser than allowable, hence it is okay. Now we know the clear span, that is clear length, but we don't know the effective span center to center. So to determine that, we refer IS 456 clause 22.2 page 34. So effective span LE is equal to clear span plus D. Therefore, or there is one more equation, effective span is equal to clear span plus half support thickness minus clear span plus LS by 2, whichever is lesser. So what we are using here is LE is equal to 2 meters, that is 230 divided by 2, that is 115. So effective span whatever you are getting is 2.115 meters. Now next is calculation of the loads which are coming on the beam. So if actual breadth of the beam is not given, so we are assuming as per standard that is 1 meter of the beam. Now dead load is equal to 0.23 into 0.475 into 1 into 25. So 0.23 is B, 0.475 is D, 1 is the breadth of the beam, and 25 kilonewton per meter cube, it is the unit, that is density of concrete. So directly what we are doing, we are multiplying it into 1.5, means we are doing it into factor directly. So we are getting 4.096, that is 4.1 kilonewton per meter. After doing it factored, we get factored live load is equal to 30 kilonewton per meter. So the total overall factored load W is equal to 34.1 kilonewton per meter. Next is factored moment minus is equal to WL E square by 2, that is factored moment W is equal to 35 into L, effective length is equal to 2.115 meters, the whole square divided by 2, you get 78.28 kilonewton meter. Now factored shear is equal to whatever W you have got into the this effective span, that is 74.025. Now next what we are doing is check for depth based on flexure or bending moment. Now we are assuming the section to be nearly balanced and equating mu to mu limit. So mu to mu limit is equal to 78.28 kilonewton meter. Using the equation, the mu limit is equal to 0.36 xu max by d in the bracket 1 minus 0.42 xu max by d into bd square by into fck. So mu limiting, we know that is 78.28 into 10 raised to 6 is equal to 0.36 into xu max by d is equal to 0.48, because fy is equal to 415 in the bracket 1 minus 0.42 into xu max by d, that is 0.48 into b 230 into d square, we don't know, into 20. So after substituting all the values, equating it, we get d is equal to 222 mm. So d assumed is greater than d required, hence it is okay. The next step is calculation of steel or AST. Since the section is under reinforced, we have mu is equal to 0.87 Fy ASTD in the bracket 1 minus AST Fy by BD FCK. So instead of using this equation, because further the calculations go into quadratic, we can also use the another equation, that is AST, that is area of steel, is equal to 0.5 FCK by Fy in the bracket 1 minus square root of 1 minus 4.6 mu by FCK BD square, close the bracket, into BD. So after using that equation, you directly get the value of AST, that is area of steel in tension zone. So after getting the area of steel, we assume 16 mm diameter bars. So area of one bar is equal to 201.06 mm square. Therefore, number of bars of 8 mm diameter is equal to 2.69 is equal to, totally we are getting 3 bars. Now distance between any two bars, minimum distance between bars, 2 bars, is greater of the following. This step is not necessary, we can also skip it. Okay, so since size of the aggregate plus 5 mm, so assuming 20 mm size plus 5 mm, so size of the bar whichever is greater, that is 16 mm, 8 and 16 is greater, therefore minimum distance is equal to 25 mm, that is cover. So distance of the between the bars, we are assuming 230 minus 2 into cover minus 2 into bars minus 2 into the 8 mm bar divided by 2. Whatever distance we are getting is 58 mm. So distance provided is equal to 58 mm, which is greater than minimum distance 25. Hence it is okay. Now calculation of AST max, that is we are checking AST max, is equal to 0.04 B into D. B we know and D also we know. Substituting the values we get 4370 mm square. So AST provided is 603. Going to the previous slide. Therefore AST minimum is lesser than AST, which is lesser than AST maximum, hence it is okay. Now next step is check for shear. So V shear is designated by V, so factored shear VU is equal to 74.025. so tau V is equal to VU by BD. This equation we get from IS 456 code book. So VU, that is 74.025 divided by B into D. B and D value, substituting we get 0.715 Newton per mm square. So next is percentage of steel, that is 100 AST by BD. After substituting the values we get 0.58. Therefore now from table 19 from IS 456, tau C is equal to 0.51 Newton per mm square, and from table 20, tau C max is equal to 2.8 Newton per mm square. Therefore tau C is lesser than tau V is lesser than tau C max, hence design of shear reinforcement is required. Now selecting two legged vertical stirrups of 8 mm diameter where steel is equal to 415. Therefore ASV is equal to 2 into pi by 4 8 square. We get 100 mm square, that is area of steel for vertical legged stirrups. So the next is tau C BD by 1000. Tau C we know, that is 0.51 from the table, into B into D, the value we know, divided by 1000. After substituting we get 52.78 kilonewton. Therefore factored shear is equal to 74.025 kilonewton. Therefore VUS is equal to VU minus VE. Therefore 74.025 minus 52.785, we get 21.24 kilonewton. Therefore VUS is equal to 0.87 Fi ASVD by SV. These equations all are from IS 456. So substituting the values in the equation, that we get SV is equal to 764 mm. Therefore check for maximum spacing. So maximum spacing 0.75D or 300 mm, whichever is lesser. So maximum spacing 337.5 or 300 mm. Therefore maximum spacing allowed is equal to 300 mm. So finally let us provide 8 mm diameter 2 LVS stirrups at a spacing of 300 mm. Now next step is check for ASV minimum. So ASV provided is equal to 100 mm square. So ASV minimum is equal to 0.4 BSV by 0.87 Fi. So substituting the values we get 76.44 mm square. So ASV provided is greater than ASV minimum, hence it is okay. So next is check for deflection. So referring IS 456, allowable L by D is equal to basic L by D into MT into ME into MF. Therefore L by D is equal to 7 as beam is cantilever. So from figure 4 MT is equal to 1.2, from figure 5 MC is equal to 1, from figure 6 BW by BF is equal to 1, since it is a rectangular section. BW by BF is equal to 1. Therefore allowable L by D is equal to 7 into 1.2 into 1 into 1, that is after multiplying we get 8.4. Therefore actual L by D, that is effective we know L 2.115 meters divided by D, that is 450 mm, is equal to 4.7, which is lesser than allowable L by D, hence it is okay. Thank you.